I had a dream last night. I don't remember what much of it was, but one thing I do remember because it stood out was that I was talking to you guys, and I was talking to you guys about violence. Part of what I was saying to you in my dream was how come it's okay that the United States government is violent towards its own people. I'm trying to understand this American idea of why we're not allowed to say no, why we're not allowed to resist this violence, why we're not allowed to fight back against this violence. There's this strange idea that people keep repeating that we should just submit now, because if we submit now, it'll be better for us than if we submit later. And nobody really seems to be concerned that America is slipping into lawlessness. We might as well be the wild, wild fucking West at this point, cowboys and Indians. You know, a lot of people are pushing for nonviolence, and yeah, it's okay. Be nonviolent. But a lot of people should understand that nonviolence doesn't help you in a situation where someone or a group of people are willingly being violent towards you. They don't give a fuck about your humanity. They don't give a fuck about your civil rights. They don't give a fuck about due process. Okay? There's this idea for a lot of Americans, well, if we stop working, we're going to go broke. We're going to go homeless. That's what you need to be doing, though. We don't even need the whole country. Realistically, we just need 20 to 30% of Americans, 1/5 of us, to stop completely. Stop going to work, stop paying bills, pull your money out of the banks, stop buying from these mega corporations like Walmart, Amazon. Delete your Facebook accounts, delete your Instagram accounts, because right now there's a huge effort from multi-billionaires who own these tech companies to suppress your freedom, to suppress your voice, to suppress any dissent. They're trying to use things like Facebook, Meta, YouTube, TikTok to influence how you think. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to have a conversation with your neighbors. They want you to be afraid of your neighbors, just like how Missoula, Montana is afraid of Jizzle D Freak. You know, a lot of people in Missoula, Montana probably come across my page and they write me off as some crazy homeless guy, some drug-addicted homeless guy who's in a meth psychosis or coming down. And I'm sober as fuck this morning, you guys. People offer me drinks all the time. I don't have to take them, and they don't persist. A lot of people at a homeless shelter can respect the fact that you don't drink, that you're not a meth addict, that you're not a fentanyl addict. I think it's sad to see a lot of white people falling back on white supremacy and colonization. Having to dress a certain way, having to have your hair in a certain style. This is all part of this culture of conformity. I saw a comment a few days ago, somebody said, unless you got a buzz cut or a low taper fade, you're not getting a job. You go to a lot of places around Missoula, you see these young kids and teenagers and young adults, and everybody has a low taper fade. Everyone dresses in the same clothes. Everyone seems to have the same ideas. You know, when I was a young adult, there was a bunch of people around me and everybody was sharing ideas with each other, and maybe we all didn't agree on the same thing, but ultimately we were able to respect each other and share spaces with each other, share drinks with each other, share laughs and conversations with each other. You know, this idea that there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things comes from this colonization mentality, this fucking white supremacy mentality that white people are more well-behaved. They're not, though. And it has to do with this idea of exceptionalism, perfection. A lot of people never show you the bad times that they have in their life. They only show you when they're having a good time, when they're smiling, when they're laughing. Most people are ashamed to fucking cry. Most people are ashamed to even admit that they're struggling. And I can admit that to the whole world, that I'm fucking struggling every fucking day, but I'm still pushing. I'm still trying to have a good fucking attitude. I still try to treat people with respect and dignity, because I don't believe in fucking shitting all over some person who's going through probably one of the hardest points in their fucking life. I hope everyone out there never has to experience homelessness. I hope you never have to experience sleeping on these streets in the snow, in the freezing fucking cold. I hope you guys never have to experience that feeling of people walking right by you like you don't even fucking exist. I hope none of you ever have to experience that feeling of somebody giving you the stink eye because you're not wearing nice enough clothes, because you're not spending enough money, because you don't have a good enough job. One thing I hate about people's ideas of homelessness is that they really do think everyone's just a drug addict or mentally unwell. I know a guy at the homeless shelter, he's a Marine Corps veteran. He has a full-time fucking job. They don't pay this guy fair fucking wages. They pay him sub 20. You know, this guy's trying to get back up on his feet. This guy's trying to get into a place to live. This guy's trying to find himself his own little slice of paradise here. A lot of people seem to respect these veterans, but they never acknowledge that there's no veteran that should be homeless right now. That's fucked. You know, a lot of these veterans have had to experience some psychologically traumatic shit, and then they come back from their wars and the government says, yeah, sorry, can't help you. You're on your fucking own. You know, there's a lot of veterans that have had funding cut over the past few years. Sometimes the scruffy looking homeless guys that you all love to look down on so much are veterans who went and fought in wars. You thank them, but you don't think these people deserve to have shelter? You know, it's raining outside. There's a lot of people who slept in the rain last night. It gets cold here in Montana. There's a lot of people who sleep out in that shit. You know, when it's snowing, sub-zero, they're outside. And it's sad that this is the best that America can do as a country. And I think it's even sadder that a lot of white people are proud to be an American. You know, I'm embarrassed to be an American, to tell you the truth. I think it sucks that so many countries have universal health care. Their citizens have access to health care. You know, their citizens have access to shelter, food, and water. It's only here in American culture that people really believe that you should work 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day, getting by on 2 to 4 hours of sleep, no food, no water, no shower, no rest, just going and fucking going and fucking going. We're not machines though, we're humans. And the fact that we're being asked to perform the labor of the intensity of a robot who never gets tired, never needs a fucking break, never needs mental rest, never needs fucking recovery time. You know, nobody seems to understand that for a lot of these multi-billionaires, they don't want you to live. They're trying to thin out the herd a little bit. They're trying to replace people with AI, and they are replacing people with AI at a rapid pace. A lot of people are losing their jobs right now. We just don't see them. There's a lot of people who have 2, 3 jobs and we just don't see them because they're always at work. They don't have time to get on the internet and post about it. They just go to work, they go to sleep, they pay bills. They go to work, they go to sleep, and they pay bills. And like I said, if this is the best that Americans can do, it's a pitiful fucking performance if you ask me. Nobody seems to be upset that the rent keeps getting higher, the cost of living keeps getting higher, your dollar is losing value. You're working harder for something that is less value. Since 2017, when Donald Trump first took office, the United States dollar has fallen 25%. 25%. Just in this year alone, since Donald Trump took office, the United States dollar has fallen 11%. Just in 2025, people. Nobody seems to see the problem that you're holding $1,000 in your hand, but really it's only worth $750. Nobody seems to see the problem that all of these apartments and homes, they keep going up, they're being built, yet there's more vacant residential homes than there are homeless people, and we're pretending like we don't know how to solve the problem. It's easy, put people into these houses that nobody's living in, fuck the banks, fuck the profit. These things should stop taking precedence over our own humanity. Where some CEO has the right to deny you health care, where some CEO has the right to deny you fucking home, where some business has the right to deny you a job, where some business has the right to fire you because you had a pro-Palestinian fucking sentiments. Americans don't seem to understand that we have sold off our freedom to corporations. And now in 2025, as Americans, we're being asked to purchase our freedom like we're fucking slaves. Because that's what a lot of Americans are trying to do right now, purchase their freedom. No,